this microphone. I hope it works. You guys are gonna need to help me out here. Because if it does, this is perfect because I can stream from home. So if you're witnessing this, this is a test stream. Let's see how well this works. If you're joining us now, it is snowing profusely outside. We actually have a snowstorm. And it is going to be snowing for like, I don't know how many weeks, man. I have no idea how many weeks. But it's going to basically be a scenario when everything is pretty much going to be covered by snow. I'm trying out my microphone because I was trying to use my PC. I hope you guys can hear me. Dina, can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me because I'm trying out this new microphone. I'm thinking of switching to my apartment. You guys can hear me, right? How clear is the audio? Because I got this mic. I usually use it for making music. But I was thinking I want to do these streams at home because my schedule is pretty much terrible right now. So I was thinking we could do a late night Q&A. So that's clear. Perfect. Is it better than usual? Does it sound clearer than before? Like when I use the Bluetooth microphones. Oh, it's -10 in Kaliningrad. Oof. Yeah, I was in the Arctic. I was in Arkhangelsk. And it was like -27. I managed to get a glimpse of the northern lights, which was pretty awesome. Yeah, I'm usually outside, so it's pretty difficult to kind of base it on this. But as long as you guys can hear me clearly, I guess that's fine. I might need to disconnect it anyway because my battery's low. We'll probably talk for a few minutes. I've been trying to hit up Twitch, but it is so hard. I can't link an OBS to it. How's everybody at home? Hope you guys are good. We are experiencing a snowstorm right now. Terrible one. It is estimated that the snow is going to be 30 centimeters deep. 30 to 50 centimeters deep. I don't know how real that is. But we're pretty much going to be, I don't know if you can swim in snow, probably not. But we're going to be stuck. Well, it's clear because you're home. Yeah, it's usually clearer because I'm home. But yeah, I am pretty much trying to see if you guys don't hear any buzzing or any weird stuff because I recently moved back to my apartment. I was staying with my babushka, my wife's babushka. So I'm thinking of doing these streams like this. It's more intimate. I feel like we can focus because usually my screen is bumping up and down. I'll still do the outside streams for you, but yeah. If you need help, contact me. Man, I would definitely contact you because I'm struggling to link it to an OBS. It's just not linking because I wanted to switch to my PC and it's terrible. Is Russia China yet? What do you mean? What do you mean is Russia China yet? By the way, this is a Q&A. You guys are allowed to ask any questions. I might have to take... Man, I should have I should have charged my phone before this. Tomorrow I'll be diving at the streets. Careful. Careful because the weather is insane right now, man. Is insane. We'll talk for like 15 minutes and then I'll probably head out. It's kind of late here. What time is it? What time zone are you guys in right now? Let me know. It's been a long time, Dina. How are you? How are you? I might need to... Let me see if you guys can tell the difference. I'm going to take out the microphone and I'm going to put in like the normal audio. Is there a difference? Do you guys sense any difference from me streaming like this? I pulled out the microphone. See? Does that seem different? Does that seem different? Or no? Let me know. I'm so happy to use the Wi-Fi. My data has been going like crazy. You guys ask way too many questions about Russia, and I'm pretty much sitting there like, oh crap. My data's about to finish. Does the audio sound different from when I have it connected to the microphone? Or is it pretty much the same? But I guess it should be clear when I'm indoors. There shouldn't be any difference. But I think the microphone sort of centers it a bit. Let me know, Dina, Daniel, how that sounds. Does it sound any better? I'm good. I got home this morning. I was in Kursk. There was no connection. Ooh, Kursk. I have been invited to Kursk, by the way. Sup, Jackson? I have a friend that is inviting me to Kursk. I'm not so sure. My wife is not a fan of the idea. And he told me, he said, Andy, come to Kursk. Kursk borders Ukraine. And he said, come to Kursk, please. You know, it's an awesome place. There's not so much stuff going on. The sirens only go off twice a day. And I was like, oh, that's nice. Because you get the sirens in Kursk because of like, like a bomb threat or something, or like a missile, whatever they call it. Because it borders Ukraine. And he's like, you should come through. The content would be crazy. I don't know if I'm one of those streamers that would stake his life on content. I was in the Arctic. I think I kind of staked my life on content because it was really cold. Really, really cold. I pretty much suffered. But not so much, I guess, because my wife prepared me pretty well for the experience. It was pretty calm. I hear the sirens only three. Oh, nice. Nice. That's good to hear. I don't know. I'm being invited there. I might consider checking it out. But yeah. All right, guys. I'm going to put this is a Q&A, right? So in the next 10 minutes, ask me anything about Russia. Let me put it here. Ask me anything about Russia. And the lovely thing about me streaming from home is that we don't need to be lackluster. Yeah, the sound is way better, huh? You see? And that's without the microphone. That's without the microphone, which is pretty cool. And I feel like it's more intimate. I can kind of focus on what you guys are saying because when I'm walking out on the street in Moscow, it's chaotic. Things are going left and right, down and up, and whatever direction. Vladimir Milinkovic, that's a Serbian name. Guys, spam your flags in the chat. I want to know where you guys are from. Talk about Bramos. I know nothing about Bramos. Know nothing about Bramos. Tell us how did you get used to the heavy weather? Oof. I mean, getting used to Moscow weather is a combination of biting the bullet, just going outside and trying to survive. As an African, because I mean, anything for me was or is cold. Because the coldest it gets in my country, it's like -2. So I think it was more of like biting the bullet. I had to force myself to pretty much go outside, and I wore the right clothes. I have a Russian wife, so I kind of got the cheat code of understanding how to dress properly. I didn't even know how to tie a scarf because in my country, gay people wear scarves. Let me explain. A lot of you are going to be like, why do gay people wear scarves? Gay people wear scarves in my country because basically it's like a symbol. If you wear a scarf in my country, like you wrap it around your neck 3 times, thrice, twice, people think that you're gay. It's kind of like a signal to call the other gay guys. I don't know if it's like that still, but when I was in high school, I used to be, I was schooling in Botswana when I was a teenager. I'm from Botswana. I was well, not from Botswana. I was born in Botswana, but I'm Zimbabwean. And usually in our school, the guys would put a scarf around their neck to symbolize that they're gay. I don't know if that's a regional thing or a country thing, but yeah, I did not wear a scarf because pretty much it symbolized in our school, I don't know about other regions, that the person in front of you was gay. So when I came to Russia, my wife's like, "You gotta wear a scarf." I'm like, I'm not gay." She's like, What do you what do you mean you're not gay?" It's like you need to wear a scarf, man. You're gonna freeze. I'm like, "Oh, my bad, my bad." So yeah, I pretty much surrendered my ideas of scarves because my neck was getting cold. Dina said something funny. She said, "I guess we're all gay then." Yeah, it seems all of us are playing for the other team in Russia because all of us are wearing scarves. No, like really, in my high school, people that wore scarves, we automatically thought that they were gay. That we're like, okay, he's gay. He's symbolizing that he's he's gay. So yeah, I don't know about now because it's like a fashion sense now. I think it has changed. But yeah, my mom would even be like, "Why are you wearing a scarf? You know, why are you wrapping it like that?" So yeah, it's maybe a generational thing. I guess the kids nowadays are different. Is there freedom of speech in Russia? Yeah, there is. But I guess it also depends on what you classify as freedom of speech. I think Western freedom of speech, a Westerner's idea of what freedom of speech is, and a Russian's idea of what freedom of speech is a bit different. I think it's completely different. One being, I think Westerners think freedom of speech is saying whatever you want, and even if it incites some form of violence, you are saying whatever you want, so nothing should happen to you. Um, the way Russia works is that you're allowed to say whatever you want, dude. Say whatever you want. But as soon as it inflicts or provokes violence or it encourages some form of chaos, you're in trouble. That's how it works. So the government doesn't care. I mean, say what you want, be stupid, say random stuff. I have friends as well who say some of the most ridiculous things on the internet. But as soon as you sort of incite a riot or you provoke violence, then you're in trouble. Because I think in the West, basically, freedom of speech is measured by how loud or how silly you can be. And we got fireworks going off. People are still enjoying their the New Year's. I don't know if you hear that. But in Russia, it's measured by how violent. Dude, we got a kid setting off fireworks right outside the apartment. Sorry about that. But yeah, in Russia, it's measured by how violent what your words, well, sorry, how violent the words that you are spewing are, and if they can cause some harm or evoke some form of violence. So freedom of speech is a very slippery slope, you know? So I have people that do have their own channels. They're not necessarily, not have people. I know people that are not necessarily for Russia. They still have their own podcasts. Of course, it's like, I feel like there needs to be a balance too. Because if you are somebody that comes to Russia, I find it very strange if you make a channel insulting Russia. Because, like, why did you come? It's kind of like being in an abusive relationship and then wondering why the person you're with is not changing when you know who they are, or basically you chose willingly to be in a place. So I think it's very hard for me to actually answer the question properly because I would say that most of the things in Russia I'm cool with. I don't have a problem. And if I had a problem, I wouldn't be living here. I'm not the kind of person that is a guest and then spews nonsense about a country. I'm more of a person that goes where I feel more comfortable, and Russia is a place that I feel really comfortable in. So, is it possible or easy to get a job in Russia and live there without speaking the language? Um, I tell a lot of my collar's not straight. Ugh, I got my shoulders are slumping. Sorry. I tell a lot of people if you want to succeed more in Russia, knowing Russian is it is imperative because you can have a job in Russia. You can get a job in Russia without knowing Russian, but you're probably going to be something like, I don't know, a translator or a teacher, and your opportunities are really limited. But if you know Russian, your scope increases tenfold. because I have friends that basically work in ICT. They work for banks in accounting. They work in various fields because they speak the Russian language. And it's easier for you to get stuff done if you understand the Russian language. But if you don't, you're kind of like the person that is fishing without bait, right? Because then you go to a company, you're like, oh, I want to work for you. Cool. All right. Do you speak Russian? No. I'm sorry, we can't employ you because everything that we do or everything that we, I would say, partake in requires the Russian language. And then that kind of leaves you in a spot where it's like you're either forced to be an English teacher or a foreign language teacher. So I know foreigners that work in various fields, English teachers, French teachers. I know DJs. I know ICT specialists. I know people that own their own restaurants. I know people that sing. I know some singers, like professional singers, like they travel around Moscow singing. They're jobs that you can get even if you don't understand Russian. But it depends how far you want to go with it. Knowing Russian is the difference between an average salary and probably what you would call higher than usual. Because there are no more international companies in Russia. Back then, it used to be easy. Oh, I'll just work for an international company that speaks English fully, no problem. But that only occurs if you are working for a company that, well, is really enthused by English, like an English teaching center. Is it possible, easy to get a job? Okay, I answered that one. Can you openly be against? Sorry, can you openly be against the way? And I mean, I don't know what you mean openly against. What does that present? Do you mean can you run on the street and then scream and then cause chaos? I'm not sure. I've never really tried that. I'm a big fan of Putin. So, but my wife and a couple of my friends actually told me that if you wanted to protest, you can actually go to the government office and you can ask them if you can hold a protest. So the difference between protests in the West and in Russia is that in Russia you need permission, right? You can go to the office, you can say, I don't agree with this, I want to protest, and then basically you're given like a permit and you can proceed to protest. Under, of course, the law. The difference between Russia and other countries is I guess you just storm the streets and you pretty much just scream and shout and cause havoc. Here you'd probably get taken out, be thrown out of the street. Not taken out, but thrown out of the street unless you have the right protocol. So, yeah, that's what I've heard. Like you can actually sign up to protest. Although, as somebody who's here, I don't see any need to protest. I don't have that sentiment. Greetings, Nelly. Ah, this is Ай, привет, как дела? Ну, все нормально, как дела? Отлично. С Новым годом. What was the other one? Раздем? С Раздем? Christmas was yesterday too. Yeah. So yeah, guys, I pretty much wanted to do this stream real quick because I wanted to touch base. It's been a while, and I like these streams at night because not a lot of you come. I usually just get 10 people. So that's pretty cool. It's a nice intimate situation. With the 10 people, you guys are loyal. What time do streams work best for you? Когда? When? Are you guys evening people? Вечером, утром, днем? When do you guys like streams? So I can sort of make a stream schedule. Supreme Winky, I didn't see your. That's a really weird name. Supreme Winky. I didn't see your question, buddy. Can you post your question again? I didn't see it. What are the views of Russian people about the West? Russian people are pretty split. Most of the friends that I have really just treat you the way you act. So if you act normal, if you act kind, they treat you well. They don't really have these. There are of course stereotypes. Everybody has stereotypes. There are certain ways that people think. Like it's like there are these predetermined thoughts when it comes to dealing with people, you know? But generally, Russian people are pretty straightforward. You act like an asshole, they treat you like an asshole. It's pretty simple. So, regardless of where you're from, if you act weird, they treat you weird. If you act normal, they treat you normally. I have some friends that complain like, "Oh, this happened to me in Russia. This happened to me in Russia," and I've never had those scenarios. And I think maybe it's because I'm pretty much somebody that assimilates into culture. I like to learn what the people find normal. I like to follow the rules. I like to learn the language, and I like to assess the differences in my way of thinking compared to the locals. Because sometimes you piss people off because your way of thinking is completely different. But Russian people, they give you the benefit of the doubt. But if you want Russian people to like you, just be polite. It's very easy for you to make friends in Russia because if you're decent, I promise you, you will not struggle in Russia. If you're somebody that says hello, you behave yourself, you're kind, regardless of your race, you're fine. Because it comes with, of course, stereotypes. There are stereotypes in every country. Yeah, there are stereotypes in every country. I mean, people are like, the common question I get as well is there racism in Russia? There is racism in every single part of the world, even my country, right? But what I have noticed, this is an observation from my own experience, is that usually when you assimilate into a culture and you're respectful, you mind your own business, and you pretty much follow the rules, the chances of you being scolded or put in weird positions becomes less because people respect you. I don't know if that makes sense. I have not been racially attacked in Russia, maybe by other other expats, which is weird, but not by Russian people. And I think maybe that's because I approach things in a way which is civil. I don't provoke people, so I don't bump into these scenarios. So yes, I'm gonna read some of the things. I mean, we're all relaxing holidays, even if you stream every day, it works for me. Okay, what is normal? Crazy you left America for I didn't leave America for Russia. I'm not from America. I think the Russian people are okay, but I mean, once again, politics is a completely different thing. I have nothing against people that don't agree with certain political views. I feel like as somebody who is speaking freely, you're allowed to have your thoughts. You can have freedom of speech. That's fine. My problem with Westerners is when they just hate Russian people. That's my problem. That's what gets me really passionate and like really pissed off and really fiery. And sometimes I even go a little bit too far in my streams because it's all cool and well if we have different political views. But as soon as you attack people, like a whole identity of people or race or like a nationality, then that's when I disagree with people completely. But with the government and stuff, if you don't agree and you have your own views, fine. I will say though that this is a channel that speaks about Russia highly. I think if you wanted to find a channel that speaks poorly about Russia, you can pretty much go to any corner of the internet. It's there. Us channels that speak positively about Russia, especially on a live stream, are not that many. So, yeah. So I'm gonna read another one. Somebody said, I'm Latino. I think I would miss our warmth, the fact that we smile and hug each other. Russian people are very warm. Don't get it twisted. Russian people are very warm. It's just that the entry point for the warmth is different from the West. Russian people are not suspicious people, but they're very honest people. You know what I mean? Like, they don't just offer warmth for no reason. There has to be a connection. They have to like you first. So Russian people are not going to smile at you aimlessly for no reason. There needs to be context. And I feel like that's an honest way of approaching life. Because if you're just smiling for no reason, yeah, in Russia, basically, if you smile for no reason, people think you're a retard. That's how it works. I don't know if I'm allowed to say the word retard, but that's basically what Russian people think of you. Because Russian people have this mindset where it's just like, there needs to be a true reason for what you're doing. If you're smiling, you genuinely like a person. If you're angry, okay, that's your fury. That is your feeling within, you know? But if you make a Russian friend, good golly, bro. Russian friends are actually the best friends you can make because as soon as it's like I'm your friend, it really means I'm your friend. Like I truthfully am your friend and I've got your back. And the gifts, Russian people with gifts, man. Every Russian friend, even casual friend that I have, got me a gift. I'm working out again tomorrow because I've gained so much because of these chocolates and I've got champagne and wine that I don't even drink. I don't drink alcohol, you know? But these are my friends. And friendship for Russian people is very different from where I'm from. Somebody said sacrifice this. Hasholio said sacrifice authenticity for respect from do people who don't like you. No, thank you. I mean, I don't think you understood what I was saying, Hasholio. I don't think Russian people openly hate or target. Well, let me speak for myself. I don't feel the hatred from Russian people. I don't go down the street and feel hatred. No, I feel welcomed. And that's just me. I can't speak for you. You can come to Russia, you'll feel like different, man. Maybe you'll be like, I feel like shit. That's you. And I can't speak for you. But for me, man, I've got a Russian family. I'm respected. I have a lot of friends. I'm given a lot of kindness. For me, I can only speak for myself, right? Because I don't feel like it's fair to lump people together. And I've done this before. I apologize for that. You know, like when you speak for like a whole community or you speak for everyone, let me speak for myself. I've never had to sacrifice my authenticity because Russian people have not given me a chance to do that. They've allowed me to be me and to conquer all the challenges with that, which I didn't conquer in the past. I feel like I'm the most successful I've been in Russia because I've been given room to move. Follow the rules. That's what you have to do in every country. Exactly. Exactly. If the law is ridiculous to you, don't live in the country. You know, immigrants have such a bad rep because we go to places and we try to change the place. Don't do that. That won't work for you in Russia. It's not the States or the UK or France or Germany when people are gifted all these free benefits. Russia is for everyone that puts in effort. You can be whoever you want to be as long as you work for it and you follow the rules. It's pretty much it. Trust me, Germans also follow the rules. They love them. I heard Germans are sticklers for rules, and I respect that. I have a German friend. Her name is Kathleen. That's another German friend that I grew up with. His name is Jan. We pretty much have known him ever since I was like 4 years old. And the way that Germans are so precise in the way they follow rules, even with trash cans, man. German people actually follow the rules. Like this is for plastic. This is this is for paper. It blows my mind because that would never work in my country. Uh, no reason to hate any group of people because there's their race or whatever. Yeah, I don't see the point. Same thoughts. Trump, Biden, Obama, and Bush. Hey, I know what that means. What do you think of the Second Chechnyan War? Um, I'm not such a history buff in terms of Russian history. Let me read up. Let me get my ducks in a row, and then actually we can make a stream talking about history. I'm going to different cities, and that's how I'm learning. I went to the Arctic a few days, no, 2 days ago. I was in the Arctic, crazy. And I learned about Lomonosov, I learned about Pushkin, I learned about how boats were made back in the day. Like I was actually standing in the beginning of the Arctic. It was insane. I have a video on the channel. You guys can go and check out my last upload. And that was insane. So yeah, I'm still learning about Russia. Still learning. But if you guys have any resources, I don't want Western resources. I want a Russian resource or like a neutral resource. Because what I do when I read, I like to see 2 points of views. I've already read the Western version of Russia. I kind of want to read what the other version of events looks like, and then I want to compare them. Somebody said he likes shirtless. That's a weird comment. What majority of Russians think on? I don't know. I mean, a lot of Russians and Ukrainians that I know just want peace. That's it. I have Ukrainian friends. I have Russian friends. All of them want peace. People are just tired, man. People just want to be friends. And you know what the craziest thing? People think that Russian people hate Ukrainians or Ukrainians hate Russian people. No, no, no. I've literally sat at a dinner table with Ukrainians and Russian people. They treat each other with respect. And I didn't even know the difference because it's very hard. They're all Slavic people, you know? And it's unfortunate because these things are pretty much something that is more, I would say, it's deeper than what we can actually comprehend. And I think people like to pin people against each other. But I've literally sat at a table with Ukrainians and Russian people, and they treated each other with respect. There's no hatred. But I think the social media thing and the news, it makes people feel the need to, I don't know, pin each other, pin people against each other, when I guess it's deeper than that. You talk only about the Russian people. Can you talk about the Russian government? This is not a political channel. But if you want, we can have a political stream one day. Maybe I might have somebody sat beside me that's more in tune, but I'm not really about politics, bro. I never met a Russian. Oh, by the way, this is a social channel. I love to talk about current events. Although, if I am sort of in the loop about certain things, I will maybe talk about something slightly, but I don't want to lie to you about things that I'm not so in tune with. I know that Russian people are okay. Okay, however, I don't care about the guy. Russia's defending civilians. Agreed. I'm a stoner, so Russia government. Uh-huh. I mean, if you do drugs, I guess a lot of countries won't like you, my friend. My guy, as a matter of fact, my name is also Jan. Oh, nice, you're Jan. Nice, bro. Nice, nice, nice. Russia Today is good. Russia Today is good. I follow Russia Today. I follow Al Jazeera. I watch all the news. All the news. Why didn't you visit? I wanted to go to Murmansk. And I failed miserably because I wasn't thinking like a Russian person. I was thinking like an African. And Africans do things last minute. No offense to my African brothers. We do things with African time. So we're like, I'm traveling. Okay. 2 days before or 1 week before you want to book the ticket. Doesn't work like that. Russian people book their tickets 6 months in advance, so 1 year in advance, and I pretty much missed out. Somebody said friends are overrated. I mean, I don't really have friends, I have family. And I guess like if you're my friend, you're pretty much my family. I treat you like a brother, like a sister. Like if we're friends, my friendship is the Russian version of friendship. And that's why I don't like making a lot of friends because I think I actually care too much. That's why I choose my friends wisely. Do I live in Russia? Yeah, I'm streaming from Moscow. I'm in the south of Moscow right now. I'm enjoying a snowstorm. Yeah, people love everybody, man. Like, people are people. People are people, bro. I feel like the problem becomes when we try to pin each other against each other. And I have fallen victim to that. I'll be honest, I'm not perfect. Sometimes I fall into the hype. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not even in this conflict. I'm more of just trying to share my experience in Russia. You know, if you read the bio of this channel, it says, I'm a Zimbabwean guy living in Russia with his Russian wife, sharing his experiences and thoughts about Russia. That's all I'm doing. So I'm not a political channel. I'm not paid for this. Of course, you can see. I mean, I only get over 100 viewers when we stream during the day. During the night, we only get like 10, 15, 20, you know? Somebody said I have 2 Russian colleagues. One is a great friend. The other one is... Well, NK88QB said that he's got one Russian friend that's amazing. The other one is insufferable. Yeah, nationality doesn't determine the personality, guys. I agree. Sometimes assholes are assholes, bro. Nice people are nice people. The wise man avoids society so that he may not be deceived by it. Oh, nice one. Okay. Touche. Touche. On the UK Afrolev, don't get into political events, my friend. It will set you up for complications. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Robert. I'm trying my best, bro. And honestly, sometimes I get passionate because I'm like, oh, I need to get involved. I need to get political. But I'm just like, no, I don't. I don't. I don't need to get political. I can just be neutral. And then I can have like a proper connotation, like this is a Russian positive channel. But I don't even need a debate. you know? Because I feel like there's a saying from one of my favorite books. It says, never win an argument through words, win it through actions. And I'm trying to fix that. Just because you scream the loudest doesn't make you the smartest person in the room. And I'm trying to learn that. I'm 27 years old. I'm turning 28. I guess I'm reaching the age where I'm not really classified as super young, right? And I'm learning basically that the more you argue, the less you get done. It's better to do things with action. Be very focused and be somebody that is effective, not with this, but with actions. And I'm slowly learning that. Slowly learning that. I'm from Zimbabwe. Can an American move to St. Petersburg? Yeah, I know so many Americans that moved here. You can join my Telegram group, guys. All my links are in my bio. Go ahead and join the Telegram group. I've got Instagram. I've got Americans in my groups. I've got different people in the group. I'm trying to build up my Telegram because I feel like we all need a space where we can just talk about Russia freely, not super political, and we just talk, man, pretty much. So tell us stories about Russia, traditions that you have experienced. Sure. Let me answer Nelly and then I'll tell you about some experiences. There are a lot of Chinese tourists in Murmansk. Yes, Chinese people love Murmansk. To my Chinese brothers, I lived in China for 8 years. I'm fluent in Chinese. 欢迎光临. 欢迎光临. Murmansk is one of the most popular destinations for Chinese people because they want to see the Northern Lights. So yeah, I'm gonna answer. I'll tell you one story, Dina. Since we are pretty much rubbing, well, I won't say rubbing off, but the New Year's festive season is wearing off because all of us are pretty much going to go back to normal next week. I learned about a Russian tradition last year. It was drinking champagne with burnt paper in the glass. And I feel like this was a crazy experience for me because I did not understand the process. What you're supposed to do, you're supposed to get a paper. You write down your resolutions for the coming year or your wishes and your dreams. You burn it and you drink the ash. I was supposed to drink the ash. I didn't know that. I burnt it and I left him. I was like, drink it, drink it, drink it. And then I pretty much gulped all of this. It wasn't real champagne. I don't drink, but like this kid champagne. I chugged it all down because then my wishes would not come true. And one of the most embarrassing moments is that like I drank so fast. I drank the champagne so fast that I just could not control all the bubbles in my throat and I burped so loudly, like it could probably be heard through the whole room. And my wife just bursted into laughter. It was embarrassing. Funny moment though. But yeah, man, I think that's one of my craziest experiences with the culture. Oh my God. I'll tell you more though, but yeah, I think the paperwork might be a bit of an issue. No, I mean paperwork. If you are a Westerner, if you want to come to Russia, do it now because it's the easiest time for you. You can get the shared value visa. But the laws are changing. Don't take my word for it. I think do your research, get a lawyer, or if you guys want to learn about Russia and the policies, you can go to worryfreerussia.com. That's a good place. Or you can go to the official websites like TASS and keep up to date with the laws and stuff. But right now, I think it's the best time to come because I guess things will get more difficult. Andy, do you like rye bread? What is rye bread? What is rye bread? Is rye bread the brown one with the seeds? Do you do you know what is the difference between a black guy and a bicycle? I don't know if this is a racist joke. I don't know if I should entertain it. What is your favorite everyday food in Russia? My favorite everyday food in Russia is definitely um what's my favorite? I'm a huge fan. I don't know if I eat the same food every day, but I am a huge fan of sochnik. I eat it sometimes. I'm a huge fan of Sprotia, which is like this very stinky sardine. I'm a huge fan of borscht. I love my borscht. I love my pelmeni. I love my vireniki. I love my my sosiski tiestia. I love my what? My medevik. I love eating. I love shi. I didn't like shi in the beginning. I was not a fan of shi. Also, one of my Russian friends hate shi, and I understand why. In the beginning, I didn't like shi, but I feel like I've grown to like it. Um, Rye bread. Oh yes, I've eaten rye. I love rye bread. I love rye bread. Again, in the beginning, I did not like rye bread. Like I was like, nah, I'm not gonna eat that. Yeah, it's black bread. I'm not eating that. But now I like it. You didn't think so? Oh, why? Why? Why didn't you think I would like sochnik? Tvorog. Tvorog is a staple food in Russia, and I feel like if you hate tvorog as a foreigner, you're going to suffer. Because Russians put tvorog and smetana in everything. I want to tell you a funny fact about my trip to Arkhangist. I went to Arkhangist, and they told me that the first people that encountered tea in Arkhangist in the Arctic thought that you were supposed to boil tea leaves in smetana. And I'm like, that is the most Russian thing that I've ever heard because Russian people love their smetana and they love their sochnik. Not the sochnik, sorry, the tvorog. So tvorog and smetana is in everything. You got smetana on your pancakes, you got smetana in every single thing, bro. And tvorog, you got sweet tvorog, you got salty tvorog, you got tvorog pie, you got tvorog bread, you got I even said bread. I'm speaking like I'm Russian now. Jesus Christ. Uh, you got tvorog in everything. It is like a staple. Sirniki. Yes, sirniki. Da, there you go. Tvorog. Sochnik, sirniki. Um, what is this? Sirok, which is like guys, tvorog is cottage cheese. A cottage cheese sweet chocolate bar. Like, I would have never thought that cottage cheese could be sweet. Russian people love their tvorog. They really love the tvorog. So there you go. Ah, yeah, I'm gonna give you guys 5 more minutes. I think I'll end in a few minutes. Why are you guys still awake though? Why are you guys still awake? it's like it's like almost 11 o'clock. Dina, what are you doing at 11 o'clock in the night? What are you doing at 11 o'clock in the night? Let me see. For anyone wondering, yeah, Tvorog is cottage cheese. Smetana is more of like this sour cream. It's really nice on pancakes. I love smetana and blini. I also like smetana and ikra. I love smetana and jam. Have you read Fedor? No, I have not read Dostoevsky yet, and I feel like I've been a complete idiot because I was trying to improve my Russian and then read it, but there are English versions, and my friend told me don't do that. You need to be a very, a very, I would say, well endowed Russian speaker or reader to understand Dostoevsky. So I think I'm just going to read it in English. So. While I was on a train for 14 hours from Kursk, because the train broke, so I slept well there. Now I'm wide awake. Damn it. Sorry about that. I'm not a fan of trains. Ugh, 14 hours. Jesus, I don't like trains. I like trains for like short trips, like 2 hours, 3 hours, but 14. But I think I might have to settle for that because I want to go to St. Petersburg. I want to go to St. Petersburg, and it's so different to get a. It's so difficult to get a Sapsan ticket. It's like playing Russian roulette. Sapsan tickets are so Russian people love their St. Petersburg. I'll tell you that. And there's always this beef between St. Petersburg and Moscow. Before I go, because I need to head out, St. Petersburg or Moscow? Spam in the chat. Which city do you think is better? I've never been to St. Petersburg, but I need a visit. because people from St. Petersburg always have this this mindset when they're like, man, St. Petersburg is better than Moscow. I'm like, no, Moscow's better. But that's only because my wife is from Moscow and I've never traveled to St. Petersburg. But my wife reassures me that Moscow is better. But I'll have to understand by visiting. You need to book Sapsan. Yeah, people are obsessed with their Sapsan. I need to book it, I guess, 2 months in advance. Man, I was only supposed to stream with you guys for 20 minutes. It's now 45. Um, I need to make a streaming schedule. You guys say you like night streams. Um, I think I would tell you 24 hours in advance before I go live because I tried to make premieres. It's very difficult. I love Peter, but Moscow is more comfortable in everything. Yeah, I feel like I've turned into a big city person that loves fast things. People tell me that St. Petersburg is slower. I don't like slow things. Moscow is very fast and very organized, and I prefer to be under pressure. I don't like being the type of person that is too comfortable. I want something to push me. Yeah, you see, okay, here's Dina. Dina's saying it's really slow. Yeah, people from St. Petersburg tell me that in St. Petersburg, people have time to even like stroll in the subway. In Moscow, if you walk in the subway, you get pushed to the ground. I'm speaking from experience. Try to stroll in Moscow during the rush hour. You look like a complete idiot. People will walk over your ass because everyone is like running to their destination. You look like an idiot. If you're one of those people that's like, oh, I'm looking around, I'm gonna look at the signs, I'm gonna go on my, you will get bumped over. Rush hour looks like an avalanche of people. It is terrible. I was just writing about the subway. Yeah. Huh. Moscow Metro is not for the youth, bro. You gotta. That's what we say back home. We say it's not for the youth. It means like it's so difficult. Like you'll get screwed over. Um, Not really young people, but you know what I mean. That's like a it's like a euphemism. Um, but yeah, Moscow is not for people that love the slow life. It's not designed like that. You get run. You get trampled. And even if I think the funniest thing that has happened to me in the metro is even when there's no place to move, people will still try to push through. Like I remember I was holding my wife's hand in the metro and there was still a lady in front of me trying to push through when there was no space. We're like, yo, it's like, oh, I gotta get to where I gotta go, because Moscow people have no time. If you come to live in Moscow, you're trying to make money. Like you want money because the salaries here are the best in Russia. You want money if you come to Moscow. You're not going to get any salary compared to Moscow salary here. So most of the people that come here, it's because of this, my friend. It's because of money. Do you live in a house or an apartment? I live in an apartment. I own my own apartment here with my wife. I don't pay. We own it. So that's lovely. Right before the the real estate went down the toilet. So we got the apartment before it became 3 times its worth. So um I think we only pay property tax, but everybody pays property tax. Like tax that you pay so that they renovate, not renovate, they maintain your apartment. So yeah, yeah, Moscow is not for the naive, guys. Moscow is a place that you need to work, and people don't care about how how slow you like things. It doesn't work like that. Do they have crack in Russia? I have no idea. I'm not a crack addict. I would not know. Are there good African food restaurants? Yeah, I have a friend that owns an African restaurant, Lakabana. What is it called? There's a Moscow restaurant that even sells sadza. You guys know fufu? We call it sadza. I'm a Zimbabwean. So, yeah, I would say renting in Moscow is expensive. Yeah, if you want to rent in Moscow, I recommend getting a roommate or oh, I lost you guys. Sorry. Holy shit. I'm sorry. I lost you guys. Um, if you're coming to Moscow alone, I recommend getting a roommate or living on the outskirts if you don't have money. Because Moscow rent. But for Westerners, you guys think it's cheap. You guys come to Russia like, it's cheap. I'm African. So for me, it's expensive. I'm so happy I got my own apartment because, bro, oh, you love fufu, Dina? You've eaten fufu? Nice. Yeah, sadza. We call it sadza. I'm Zimbabwean. Sadza. It's like Sadza. It's fufu. But but sadza, Zimbabwean fufu is not the same as Nigerian's fufu. I feel like Nigerian fufu is I like Nigerian fufu because similarity in texture. You guys make it thick because you want to do this. I like that. Ours is a little bit less, well, it's not as thick. Because Nigerian fufu is nice. I like that thickness. Like you can grab it, you can even like make a bowl and you can throw it in the air. And I'm saying this because in Botswana, where I grew up, Botswana, guys, no offense, but Botswana fufu or salsa is the worst fufu in Africa. It is so watery. I hate that watery shit. Like, like when you're trying to grab on your salsa and it's not thick. Nah, can't eat that. Can't do that. It needs to be thick. Yeah, salsa is basically porridge. It's corn porridge. It's corn porridge. And Nigerians and Zimbabweans make the best salsa. Best. Because they understand the thickness. The thickness. That's what it's about. You're supposed to dip it in your meat. Maybe I need to cook some for you on stream. My friend owned an African restaurant. Nice. Fufu is the bomb. It's the bomb diggity. I like Nigerian and Ghanaian food the most, but I want to try salsa. No, salsa is the same. It's fufu. Salsa is the same. Salsa is a nationwide thing in Africa. Every single nation has salsa, but in a different way. Some people have it salty, some people have it yellow, some people have it thick, some people have it thin, you know. So yeah. Anyway, guys, I need to get back to my wife. Spend the rest of the night together. I was trying to go live with you guys on Twitch. It's failing. I don't know. By the way, subscribe to my Twitch. I put it in my community post. Subscribe to my Twitch. That's the underscore Afrolev on Twitch. So check that out. I'm gonna try and become a streamer. I'm tired of uploading videos. YouTube is blackballing me, bro. I'm so tired of uploading really amazing videos and only getting like 200 views, 600 views. I can't do that anymore. Ugh. And then some of my videos are like 200K, 15K, and then the next day they're just like 300. I don't have the time for that. So we're going to stream more. We're going to stream more. And yeah, I will see you guys next time. Have a good one. And yeah, happy holidays. I don't know if I can go live again during the holiday. I'll try to find a time. I need to spend time with my wife. But next week, we will try and make a streaming schedule. See you guys in the next one. Ciao.